There are 40,000 McDonald's locations in the world, in over 100 countries, serving 70 million customers every single day. It is the most recognized brand on earth, more recognizable than the Christian cross according to some studies. But here is what almost nobody knows. McDonald's is not actually in the food business. They never were. And understanding what business they are actually in will completely change the way you see money, real estate, and how the biggest companies in the world really make their fortunes. In 1954, a 52-year-old milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc drove to San Bernardino, California to visit a small burger restaurant that had ordered 8 of his machines. Most restaurants ordered 1. He needed to understand why this place needed 8. What he found when he arrived changed American business forever. The restaurant was run by 2 brothers, Richard and Maurice McDonald. They had invented something nobody had ever seen before, a kitchen designed like a factory assembly line. Every burger made exactly the same way, every fry cooked for exactly the same amount of time, every order delivered in under 60 seconds. Kroc stood outside and watched the lines of customers stretching down the street, and he knew immediately, this was not just a restaurant, this was a system, and systems could be copied anywhere in the world. He convinced the McDonald brothers to let him franchise their concept across America. By 1958, there were 34 McDonald's locations. By 1960, there were 228. The system worked everywhere Kroc took it, but there was a massive problem. McDonald's was growing fast, but making almost no money. The franchise fees were tiny. The food margins were razor thin. Every new location cost money to open, and the returns were slow. Kroc was expanding an empire but going personally broke doing it. In 1956, a financial advisor named Harry Sunborn walked into Kroc's office with an idea that would fundamentally change everything. He sat down across from Kroc and said something that sounds almost too simple. McDonald's should not be in the food business. It should be in the real estate business. Here is how it worked. Instead of just collecting small franchise fees from operators, McDonald's would lease or buy the land and buildings where each restaurant sat. Then they would sublease that property back to the franchisee at a significant markup. The franchisee paid McDonald's rent every single month regardless of how many burgers they sold. McDonald's was not just selling the right to use the Golden Arches, they were becoming the landlord of every single location. Kroc later said, and this is one of the most famous quotes in business history, "We are not technically in the food business. We are in the real estate business. The hamburger is simply our delivery system." Today, McDonald's owns approximately 45% of the land and 70% of the buildings across its global restaurant network. That portfolio of real estate is worth an estimated $40 billion. To put that in perspective, that is more real estate value than most dedicated property companies that have been buying land for decades. But the real estate model only tells half the story, because McDonald's has engineered one of the most sophisticated money machines in corporate history, and most people eating a Big Mac have absolutely no idea it exists. When you pay $5 for a burger at McDonald's, almost none of that money actually goes to McDonald's Corporation. The food ingredients, the staff wages, the utilities, the equipment, all of that comes out of the franchisee's pocket. The franchisee takes all the operating risk. McDonald's Corporation just collects the rent and a percentage of sales every single month like clockwork, whether the restaurant is busy or empty. This is called an asset-light business model, and it is pure financial genius. McDonald's gets the revenue upside of 40,000 restaurants without carrying the cost or risk of actually running them. Their corporate headcount is remarkably small for a company of their size. They do not need thousands of chefs and managers on their payroll. The franchisees handle all of that. Now let us talk about the actual numbers, because they are extraordinary. McDonald's annual revenue is approximately $23 billion, but here is what makes that number remarkable. Their profit margin is around 33%. For every $100 McDonald's earns, they keep $33 as pure profit. Compare that to actual food companies. The average restaurant business keeps around 3 to 5 cents of profit for every dollar of revenue. McDonald's keeps 33 times more profit per dollar than a typical restaurant, because they are not really a restaurant. Their stock performance tells the same story. If you had invested $10,000 in McDonald's stock in the year $2,000, today that investment would be worth over $200,000. That is a 20 times return over 25 years, better than most technology companies, better than most real estate investment trusts, from a burger company. But McDonald's faces serious threats in 2026 that every investor needs to understand. First, changing consumer habits. Younger generations are increasingly avoiding fast food for health reasons. McDonald's same-store sales have shown weakness in several key markets, including the United States, as customers choose healthier or more premium options. Second, franchisee tension. The relationship between McDonald's corporate and its franchisees has become increasingly strained. Many franchisees argue that corporate mandates, new menu items, technology upgrades, restaurant renovations, cost them millions, while primarily benefiting the corporate real estate and royalty model rather than their individual restaurants. Third, the $40 billion real estate question. As commercial real estate values fluctuate globally, the value of McDonald's massive property portfolio is not guaranteed. In a serious real estate downturn, McDonald's balance sheet would take a significant hit. Ray Kroc died in 1984, worth approximately $500 million. He never actually invented the hamburger, the French fry, or even the assembly line kitchen. The McDonald brothers did all of that. What Kroc invented was something far more valuable. He invented a system for turning real estate and brand licensing into a money machine that now operates on every continent except Antarctica and generates billions in profit every single year. The next time you drive past a McDonald's, you are not looking at a restaurant. You are looking at a real estate company, a licensing business, and a brand worth tens of billions of dollars that just happens to sell hamburgers to pay the bills. If this documentary changed the way you see one of the most familiar companies on earth, hit that like button and subscribe to GoldCoast Money. Every week we pull back the curtain on how the world's biggest brands really make their money. I will see you in the next one.